I'd like to call this meeting to order. All rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Smith. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. All right, just a quick roll call. Let's see. Commissioner Benedict.
Here.
Commissioner Rodemaker.
Here.
Commissioner Gold.
Here.
Commissioner Buckley.
Here. Reports. Chief, do you have anything?
A couple things. The month of November, we did No Shave November with West Eagle Police, Northeast Police, and we raised for Emma's Footprints about $2,400. So we presented the check with them last week, and it was a big success. So that would be the main focus. And then Officer Baker's coming back. We'll be out back at the full staff in January, 1st of January. So I'm excited about that. He's been off for an extended amount of time with some health issues, so he's coming back and he's in clean bill health. So
Awesome.
Late but not forgotten. We actually issued 0 zoning permits this past month, so a little unusual. So get a smattering, but we're good.
All right, solicitor.
I have nothing exciting to report, which is usually what everybody likes to hear from me.
I have a motion to approve the reports.
I'll make a motion to approve the reports.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, a motion to ratify the bill payments for the month of November 2025.
How much to pay the bills? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve console pay application number 7 for Sudan's lift station project.
I'll motion to pay for Sudan.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of prior meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for stated meeting from November 12th, 2025?
A motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess I'm up. A quick presentation about the 2026 budget. One of the things that I'm responsible for as the new township manager is presenting a budget to the board of commissioners for their consideration. So what I've done today, rather than just show you guys 8 pages of numbers, I thought it would make more sense just to talk about the budget, talk about what's included in the budget, why it's included in the budget, and what we're looking to do. Let's see. So why does this budget matter? The biggest questions that the purpose of that I want to answer here today: how are our tax dollars spent? What is the true cost of keeping the community afloat? Can we simplify our financial picture? And is there a responsible path forward? I think that everybody's aware there are lots of issues affecting the township, issues with our infrastructure, issues with our park system, issues that we need to start taking steps to address. For many years, and certainly in the 6 months of my tenure, residents have asked, where do my taxes go? Why are they so high? What do things cost, right? The cost of goods and doing business just keeps going up. And why does it feel like sometimes we're falling behind? Let's see. So first thing to recognize, what does the township actually control? Your roads and your alleys, your sewer and your stormwater management systems, your public parks and playgrounds and all the programming that's associated with that, your local police service, permitting, notices, public meetings like this, all of our legal and financial obligations and other resident services. That is obviously a small sample, right? Right now it's starting to snow, so snow plowing, right? How your tax dollars are spent. So right now, A home with an assessed value of $100,000, this is just a round figure, pays about $4,216 in property taxes a year. Here's how that's breaking down. So about 64% of those tax dollars right now go to the Iroquois School District. About 16% of those tax dollars go to Erie County, and the remaining 20% comes here to the township. Just to give you a visual, I like pie charts, right? I think it kind of breaks it down a little simpler for everybody. But again, just to visualize, each $1,000 in property taxes, $642 is going to the school, $157 to the county, and the township is taking $201 to administer those programs. The next natural question, how do you use that $201, right? How is the township spending this money? So based on that assessed value, this is a rough breakdown of where we're spending your dollars, right? So if you have a home that's assessed at about $100,000, every year you're paying about $320 for all of your police and public safety services. You're paying about $270 for snow plowing, leaf pickup, and all the things that our public works department provides, sewer maintenance. Our administrative and legal costs, that's me, that's legal fees, that's our receptionist, that's about $95 a year. Parks and recreation, including the 4th of July, is about $35 a year. Your total insurance and employee benefits, this is, those other costs, health insurance, other associated costs with having employees that aren't specifically administrative and legal, but they come with the cost of having an employee. It's about $60 a year. And all other operational costs, this is like buying road salt and paying for, the equipment that we need to repair a manhole, right? That is all lumped into other operational costs of about $70 a year. Again, just give everybody a visual of what I'm talking about. This is just a percentage breakdown of that exact same, those exact same mathematical figures. So again, you have the goal being an understanding of where we're spending your money. So costs are going up. Where are we feeling those costs? These are just some examples. So since 2019, asphalt prices are up 55%. Equipment for parts and materials generally for municipalities are up about 30% since 2019. Health insurances in that same period of time have almost doubled in cost. Sewer construction costs and stormwater drain replacements have almost doubled in cost. Inflation in municipal goods, the things that your municipality buy, is largely greater on consumer goods. And I think everybody can recognize that the prices of every outside sources, the aid we get from the state has remained flat. So this is a lot of information here. If you have a paper one, feel free to take a look. But the state of our sewers is a big cost, high ticket item. I realize that everybody in here, as a resident of the township is paying a sewer bill, and this is where that sewer bill is going. So Lawrence Park has 3 lift stations that help keep your wastewater moving. Those are down at the Lake Cliff Boat Launch, at the bottom of Cunningham. Oh, no worries. And then Sudan's, which is currently being replaced. I'm sure everybody's seen that construction. While these upgrades are major progress, the system still faces what are called inflow and infiltration issues. This is when road debris and leaves get into the sewer system that can cause backups, higher treatment volumes and costs generally, and stress on old infrastructure. 2026, what we're looking to do, new mapping and inspections. That's just taking a survey of our entire sewer system and starting to determine where are our highest priority items, and then essentially starting to plan to address those items long term. Roads. Lawrence Park has 11 miles of road. We receive about $100,000 a year from the state for aid in road construction and repair. Unfortunately, at today's prices, that pays for about 0.3 miles of roadway. In order to repair So asphalt, you want to keep it on a 20-year replacement cycle. In order to do that, we would need to replace about a little over half of a mile of road every year. And unfortunately, the state only gives us enough money to cover a third of a mile, right? So you can see that there's an issue there. So in plain English, we're not able to pave even half of what we need to in order to keep up. Alleyways are a different problem entirely. Alleyways are not considered roads and are not part of that state aid. So that means that the township is solely responsible for, helping the alleyways, right? Doing something to address the alleyways. So realistically, the long-term solutions, drainage improvements, lower cost preservation initiatives. This is like seal coating. This is one thing that we've talked a lot about. Seal coating is essentially, it's kind of like tar and chip, except much better. Same idea, right? You use millings from other road projects, but seal coating is a much more high quality product. Lasts a little bit longer. One of the things with roads that we should talk about quickly is Main Street. Unfortunately, the Main Street Turnback project has been delayed. PennDOT has pushed that to 2027 now. So, that is, if you haven't heard about that what is happening is Main Street, all the way from the Wabtec entrance to the end of Main Street, that entire roadway is going to be replaced. The curbs are going to be replaced. The sidewalks are going to be replaced. The streetlights and signage is all going to be replaced at no cost to the township. But the deal is that PennDOT then turns over responsibility for that road to the township after they finish completion, right? So they're going to make over a $5 million investment in that roadway. But then after they make that investment, the township would be responsible for maintaining Main Street here on out, right? So, that is a future, it's going to be a great project. It does lead to future costs potentially, right? Parks. Every day we see the parks. I have a 6-year-old. I use the parks. I love the parks. And the reality is our parks require modernization. There's lots of talks about restrooms, lighting, and electrical improvements. Our goal is safe, modern, ADA compliant, and community friendly parks. The 2026 budget looks to stabilize our parks and start a parks initiative that will propose new grant funding, studies, and new proposals. Essentially, we need to start taking affirmative steps to address some of the aging equipment in our parks. Our major equipment is aging out. As everybody is aware at this point, our leaf vacuum is a problem. Our leaf vacuum is 1996, and many township vehicles and machines are 20 to 30 years old. That breakdown of the leaf machine this year is a sign of a larger issue. Older equipment means more breakdowns, higher repair costs, delays in service, and puts public safety risks in during winter storms. The 2026 budget begins a more realistic replacement schedule. We have to start, again, planning and addressing these things consistently year after year. Public safety, police services are going to remain stable for 2026. Police services are, while they are a significant portion of the township budget, the costs for 2026 are currently projected to remain stable with no additional plans for an increase in staffing or structure. I will mention that there is a current regionalization study with Wesleyville and a steering committee that's currently a sort of an investigation stage. So the steering committee is responsible for having conversations about a potential regionalization and then determining how that might look, right? Public Works and Admin, Public Works, they handle a lot. Snow removal, road maintenance, sewer issues, stormwater service, parks maintenance, leaf collection, and upkeep of our facilities. And unfortunately, that workload keeps increasing as our infrastructure continues to age. Administratively, we're looking at handling finances, payroll, legal compliance, meetings, grants, public services. One of the things that we're looking to do is in 2026, new accountants, new accounting support, outsourced accounting support, new payroll initiatives to make sure that we are meeting payroll goals every 2 weeks is the best way to put it. And then, improving and changing our structures and our staffing. So what happens if we do nothing? If we don't increase taxes, if we don't address these issues, roads are going to continue to fall further behind. Equipment is going to continue to fail. Parks are going to continue to deteriorate. Stormwater management costs are only increasing. It just leads to more emergency spending and larger tax increases down the road. And this is not something, I am a resident of Lawrence Park. I don't want tax increases. My dad also lives in Lawrence Park. I don't take this lightly. That is to say that, what is a mill adjustment? That's a tax increase. So taxes are assessed by millage. A unit is called a mill. A mill just equals $1 per every $1,000 of an assessed property value, basically. So like a 0.58 mill increase, which is what's being proposed in the current draft budget, means that, you're paying about 58 cents more per $1,000. It means that if you have a $100,000 assessed value home, you're going to pay about $58 more a year. Okay? That is what this tax increase actually means. And why does this matter? Well, it helps keep township services stable. It begins addressing long-term issues, and it avoids potential catch-up down the road. Looking ahead, 2026 is about stabilizing our operations, being honest about the condition of our infrastructure, and stopping a cycle of sort of deferred maintenance. With stability, we can start planning 5 to 10 years ahead. We can more realistically pursue alternative funding, like grant funding. We can build long-term goals for sewers, roads, alleys, parks, and equipment. This budget is not going to solve everything. This is one budget, it's 1 year, but this is a step in what I believe is the right direction. 2026, what are some of the goals? What are we trying to accomplish with your tax dollars? We're trying to make a serious investment in replacing outdated sewer infrastructure, including the replacement of manholes throughout the township, long-term, again, completion of the 3 lift stations, which are nearly there, major work on alleyways and roads, and new community parks and initiatives. So in conclusion, I just want to stress that while Lawrence Park Township only gets about 20% of the property taxes you pay, the township is responsible for nearly everything you use day to day if you're not in school, right? And I love the school. Teaches there. This is not meant to disparage. It's just the reality. This budget is a responsible, realistic approach to help prepare Lawrence Park for the road ahead. One thing I will stress, since everybody's here, is that we are always looking for volunteers or any other kind of help. If you want to help, I would urge you to contact us. You can talk to me at a meeting, give us a call, send us an email, and we'd be thrilled to have you. After I conclude here, we will have space for public comments. And the only other thing I'll say is that if you have a question about this budget, I am happy to do my best to address it.
All right, township resident comments. Jim Van Dyne.
I come to you as a Recreation Board Chairman. We have an issue along the border of the creek that runs down to the boat ramp. And I think the problem is that the people there do not fully grasp that the property line does not go all the way out to the gully. And I saw during the summer, one of my neighbors, I live there, take a can of herbicide and just pour it along the edge of the gully. And I've already talked about this with Tammy starting 6 months ago or so. And I've been thinking about it. We have a township engineer, but he isn't here tonight. You have don't have a township engineer?
We do.
Yeah. We do, yeah. I think it would be an easy thing and not cost us very much if he brought a crew out there to make a demonstration, not to make it make it look like it's making a demonstration. To plot the back border of those properties with flags, those little wire flags, you know, and people come out and that, well, we're plotting where the property ends. And the property that the township is responsible for begins. So they get it into their head. And, I would be willing to approach the people that for the herbicide and say, please, no herbicide off your property onto ours. Essentially, they use other words, but I'll be polite about it, kind about it. I say, you know, if you don't want the weeds coming up and blocking your view, and this is the big issue with these people, is that the plants come up to block their view of the lake. Well, you know, you're allowed to cut it down, but don't pour herbicide. In any case, that's that issue, so, we'll take that up in the spring. I know that makes leaving, and we'll be getting a different commissioner in charge of irrigation board, and we'll move together and try to deal with that. In any case, that presentation was wonderful.
Thanks.
And I grasped it and I understand about it. Is there any way we can get a lab tape or payment for you to share?
That'd be great. Yeah.
And way before you became involved, you're back when General Electric owned it, and it is back in the I think in the seventies might have been. There's a big legal fight over how much that property should be assessed at.
Sure.
And we lost. Because they brought in an army against our one attorney. Anyway. Gentlemen, you guys do a great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Charles Lewis.
Thank you. I was reviewing a copy of the Auditor General's report, and it appears that the township is not in compliance, and I suspect that could hurt us down the road. Okay, now, apparently, what they zeroed in on was the lump sum payment to Cindy Jo Cunningham of $25,949 for 120 sick days. It said township officials authorized this. So I don't know if the attorneys had anything to do with that. CPA, I don't know who authorized it. And then she received an additional pension benefit of $1,490. And it appears that shouldn't be brought into the pension calculation according to the Auditor General. And it said she was paid for 120 sick days at the time of retirement, where the handbook authorizes 20 sick days per annum during your last 36 months. So it appears she was paid twice the amount towards her benefit. Should have been 60, not 120, according to what I'm reading. And then my next question was, who calculated those numbers?
Well, I'll speak on one thing with regard to your question. One of the things that is actually in the agenda is to speak on these, the pension audits. We received an audit of both the police pension and the non-uniform pension. And as you mentioned, there is a finding in the non-uniform pension that does have to deal with an incorrect calculation. Essentially, what we are currently doing is actually working with our actuarial firm, which is Acrisure, to determine what that calculation should have been and how our actuarial firm recommends we address it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, but I see you have it on the agenda.
Yep.
So I'll let you handle that. But again, apparently no one could tell me who calculated these numbers. Who paid her?
The company before Acrisure.
Is that who calculated?
Yeah, her name was Sue. I forget her last name.
Well, that's, I don't.
I know, she's the VP. She was the VP, so
Okay.
I can't remember, Sue Brown or something.
On this one email, I see that Linda Blolly, I don't know what her position was.
Linda was the accountant for the
Accountant.
township.
So when she's asked, she says Cindy keeps her own time tracking since she's salaried.
Mhm.
So you're telling me that the employee, the pensioner, calculated their own time?
If that is, I couldn't, I won't speak to past employment practices. I don't know, how we calculated time. But, I will say that Linda was the township accountant. But I couldn't speak to how, what
Yeah.
our policy was, procedure for that.
Is there any chance of recovering any of that money from the township?
So I think the first step is going to be for the township to look into, what actually happened and, consider what should have happened. I don't know the answers to those things yet.
Okay, fair enough. And as far as the other general's compliance on it,
Mhm.
apparently we need to get in compliance.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be taken care of.
Yeah, so the minimum steps to, get into compliance or something that's exactly, that the agenda item, the first step to determine what we need to do, what we specifically should do to get into compliance is to let our actuarial firm tell us,
Okay.
and so that's the step we're looking
Yeah, I
at.
realize you weren't here for that.
Yeah,
I don't expect you to be able to answer every question, Spencer, but
sorry.
but I take it if we don't get in compliance,
Mhm.
we face some sort of penalty?
We do potentially risk, it does put the township at risk potentially for, so we receive state aid for the pension. So the state, for both our police and non-uniform pension, provides a certain amount of money that is calculated based on it's called a minimum municipal obligation. But the long and short of it is that essentially the state provides us aid. And if we do not take some steps to get into compliance, we do potentially risk that aid. And so, again, that's why I think it's,
Do you have any idea what that amount would be?
it could be anywhere. It's not guaranteed what the amount is, but I can say the maximum amount is about $140,000, which is what we got last year. It's not for sure what amount we'd be potentially penalized or what timeline the state has,
Okay.
but we are at risk if we don't take some steps to comply.
Fair enough, thank you.
Okay, consideration for ordinance 2025-3, establishing the 2026 millage rate to be set at 8.5 mil.
Yeah, so we need a motion, and then a roll call vote, but.
Or is this the ordinance we have to do, what's that called? A simple motion,
The roll call.
roll call.
It's a roll call.
Yeah.
Are we motioning and roll calling or?
Yeah, so it should be motion second, roll call.
All right,
Okay, I'll motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Yeah, roll call. Yep, roll call. So Commissioner Benedict,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Golden,
Aye.
and Commissioner Buckland.
Aye. All right, I have a motion for consideration for ordinance 2025-4, adopting the proposed 2026 budget.
I'll make a motion to adopt the budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So roll call, so roll
Oh,
call.
yeah.
Yep, sorry, guys. Commissioner Benedict,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodmaker,
Aye.
Commissioner Golden,
Aye.
and Commissioner Buckland.
Aye.
Old business.
Yeah, let's talk about the waste management garbage contract. If you're on social media, you saw a video with me, but a few things to make everybody aware of. The online portal that I made is closed. That closed on November 30th. Essentially, that was a way to register in advance for cart rental or to get your 10% senior discount applied to your first invoice. That has since closed. But once you obtain your customer ID number, or whatever, this is what I understand. Once you obtain a customer ID number from Waste Management, which should come with your invoice, they should be able to look you up. You should be in their system. You may already be in their system. They can secure that cart rental and apply that 10% discount at any time. So you didn't have to register early. That was just an option that I felt was important to provide to residents. But again, that registration portal is closed. You should expect to receive your invoices in the mail soon. They did tell us that those should go out in December. They also told us that your rental bills will start being delivered Monday. This coming Monday, your bins, if you rented a cart, either a recycling cart or the garbage cart, those should be starting to be delivered on Monday. And I do want to thank everybody for their patience during this transition. I know it's been super confusing, and we've tried our best to make it as easy as we can. And we are still trying to do that. So if there's any additional questions, yes, sir.
When you say they're gonna be sending out bills.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's gonna be, so now today's the 10th, so by next week, early next morning, would make about 15th, 16th.
That's
Right, so you get your bill. The bill, where can it be paid in town anywhere?
as far as I know, no.
Okay, so that means you have to send it out mail. And with going to mail anytime these days, it takes 2 weeks. If they don't receive their bill by the first of the year, is your garbage gonna get picked up?
That's a great question. I don't know. They've not communicated that to me, but I will ask them. Because I don't know what their plan is for their billing cycle. I don't know when the due date's gonna be. I don't know if it is the first or whether they're pushing it out to some other day. But I will ask the account executive.
Whenever I talk to anybody in waste management concerning all this, it's either been Altoona, Ohio, or Texas. Either one. So if you gotta send a bill to Texas, that's gonna be 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before they even get it.
Spencer, is there an option to pay that online?
There will.
They're always.
Yeah, should be. But it's a totally fair question. So, and not everybody you're not required to use their online billing. So, so there is an option to pay online that will certainly be available. But, if you want to mail that bill in, I think your question is totally fair. And I think what I'll do is I'll email the person who would have the answer for that. And once I get an answer, I'll update our FAQ page and, put something out about what that billing cycle is going to look like.
New business.
Yeah, real quick, I also want to talk about the City Hand Lift Station project.
Oh, okay.
The construction's pretty much done. Console Construction has done, they've completed the construction of the actual lift station. The beautification, meaning planting arborvitae and making it look nice, that'll happen in the spring. But the construction of the actual station is done. We are awaiting the public utility to, essentially we're waiting on Penelec to hook up the electric. They have to make the final sort of connection, and we're waiting for Penelec to do that. So it is tentatively scheduled in early January, but we are pressing to see if we can get that done earlier so we can get that station operational without the use of diesel generators. That's what's happening currently. So if you go by Tecker Park, and you see that lift station, you can see big generators there. That's currently powering the station until Penelec makes that connection. Right.
New business.
Yeah, new business. Sorry, I keep talking. I just, I know a few folks are there was one particular person that I just want to talk about that is planning to retire at the end of this year. Our tax collector and treasurer, Joyce Spitznagel, she's unfortunately not in attendance tonight, but I just want to publicly recognize her service to the township. She's been with the township for 9 years. Does that sound right? She's been with the township for 9 years as our tax collector, serving as our treasurer, and Joyce has just been a wealth of knowledge and extremely helpful to me. I can't stress enough and can't thank her enough for working well beyond what was expected of her, and really going above and beyond for everybody, and myself included as I took on this job. So I do just want to thank her publicly.
And then we also have, two commissioners who are, at the end of their term this round. And I want to take a minute to talk about Commissioner Benedict. So Commissioner Benedict is the person at this table as far as commissioners who's been up here the longest. Completing 2 full terms. Tammy, by nature, without trying, is a leader. When she walks into a room, she instantly becomes the person that others look to when they need direction or stability. And she does that without ever missing a beat. She does not lead with force or with title, but with presence. And she has this incredible ability to make people feel seen, truly seen. Whether it's just sending a message to check in, pausing for a conversation during one of her many, many walks throughout the day. Or showing up with a sweet treat simply because she remembered that it's your favorite. She has a gift for making people feel valued, appreciated, and connected. So when you really get to the core of it, it's her character. She embodies a sense of belonging and community, and that is what has made her such a special commissioner. So Tammy, thank you for everything that you brought to the board and to this community. We truly have been lucky to have had you as a commissioner, and your impact will remain long after your term officially ends. It's been an honor.
Thank you. It's been my honor. I have worked with many, many people, and Lawrence Park is a very, very special place. I have been very humbled and grateful for your trust in me as I sit up here. And again, the people that I've worked with, very, very special people. The programs are outstanding. So I'm sure all of you, as you sit here, a lot of you every day, every week, or every month, know what you do and what you mean, and you build Lawrence Park. So thank you. I will say, especially the police department, and I have been through a lot of police officers, but I have had the privilege to work with them in the schools, as SROs and in Safety Town, which is one of my absolutely dearest things. And the time and effort that they put in and day out in circumstances that most of us will never understand. 4th of July, especially, because that is an endless day, but it is the best day in Lawrence Park. I will miss that probably the most. And the people that I've sat up next to here, beyond compare. So thank you. And thank you for the kind words.
Just to, moving on here, for the centennial, you'll see a change. Obviously, there's a change here in your agenda. The original agenda that was published online, we had planned initially to issue a proclamation regarding Lawrence Park Centennial, which occurs next year, but actually gonna look to do that in February. The township was, sort of ratified as a first-class township on was February 8th of 1926. And so there are some events planned around that date, and decided that a proclamation was more appropriate then. But in order for the township to work with the Historic Society's Centennial Committee, we were looking for a resolution, so.
Yeah, consideration for the resolution 2025-18, a resolution authorizing a formal partnership between Lawrence Park Township and the Lawrence Park Township Centennial Celebration Committee for the 2026 centennial year in support of all centennial activities. Have a motion?
I'll motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
pension matter.
Yeah, so we already discussed the pension audits a little bit, but again, as previously mentioned, did get those pension audits back from the police and non-uniform pensions. There's a few different things we need to address with each. Again, with the police pension, no findings per se, but we do need to look at conducting a further study of their pension to determine its funding status. Did want to mention that since I didn't get a chance to address it earlier. It is currently, according to the audit, at 100% funding, and we need that additional actuarial support to confirm those calculations. And then again, we did talk about that non-uniform pension and starting to take those steps to get in compliance with the state.
I motion, no motion for that, Spencer.
Yes.
Yeah, can I have a motion to authorize the township manager to work with township's actuary firm to take appropriate steps necessary to address the non-uniform pension calculations?
I'll motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I have a motion to authorize the township manager to coordinate with the township's actuary firm to conduct the police pension actuarial study required under collective bargaining agreement.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Some easy stuff. There are members of the historical society here, so if they want to speak on this more, please feel free. But essentially, had a conversation, yesterday about, or 2 days ago rather, about the placement of a historical marker in Tecker Park to recognize the Grove House and Amusement Park that stood, if you go all the way down where like the GE Picnic Grove was in the golf course. At one point in time, that was both amusement park and a hotel. That property is now owned by the Lawrence Park Golf Club. But the Historical Society would like to, install a placard commemorating that.
You want me to speak
Yeah,
a little
please.
bit on it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want to tell you, this all happened because we have a Lawrence Park resident who's lived here for a number of years. He happens to own the business called Lakeshore Industries, which has a lot of memorial markers throughout the nation. And they did our one on Main Street, and he approached the Lawrence Park Historical Society on Saturday with a gift. He would like to install a marker, and he's suggesting Tecker Park. So I approached Spencer about, could we do it there? He would like to do it there because it's on public land. It's not on private land. He felt that you get people coming by all the time, both people walking and on cars, and he thought it would be a good place to put it. He's willing to do everything free of charge for both the township and us. I know the last one he installed, the township installed themselves. He said if the township needs to install it, that's fine by him, but he has installed many himself. What he's talking about is first of all, he would install a pole that would be 3 feet into the ground. And normally it's 5 foot tall above that. And above that would be a 24 by 24 inch placard. It would be on both sides. He's proposing to do wording, a picture. He was talking about Grove House Park, which was the very elaborate, I think it's called East Lake type of construction at the time, back in the late 1800s. That was the first building that was built down on the lakefront with a pier going out into the lake. We have a picture of that. We have a line drawing of that, which he would use to put on the placard, and he's willing to put a QR code on if we create a QR code, which would give additional information, and we would just have some, you can't get a whole lot on a 24 by 24, but some information about that. So we just wanted to, before we proceed, wanted to make sure it's okay with you guys that we proceed with this, because it's a gift of about $2,500 to the Historical Society.
So that's it. And then, of course, we also have to mention Formal Creek Amusement Park, which if you're on social media, Facebook, you've seen all the different stuff flying about that. Some of it needs a little correction here and there, but it is interesting. And it's wonderful that we're getting this recognition. Hey, there was something down there.
I have a motion to approve the placement of historical marker in Tecker Park, recognizing Grove House and the amusement park that once stood at the lakefront property now owned by Lawrence Park Golf Club, with all associated costs, installations to be facilitated by the Lawrence Park Historical Society and its members, with the proposed location subject to review by Lawrence Park Township Board of Commissioners.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to authorize the township manager to pursue a fireworks contract with Zambelli Fireworks for future 4th of July celebrations beginning in 2026.
And just to speak on that really quick, I promise to be short. I did get quotes from 3 different organizations. Zambelli has facilitated our fireworks show in the past and is willing to do it again. And came in with the preferred quote for the show that we were looking for. It is pricey, and one thing I will. The negotiations are continuing is the best way I can put it. But again, I just need your permission to do that.
Have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to talk about this a little, Spencer?
Sure. I'll talk about this very, very briefly. So there is a governing body, an international governing body for township managers, municipal managers, city managers, county executives. It's called the ICMA, the International City and County Management Association. What I was looking for was to authorization to both join that organization and then start, professional development through that organization. The initial cost and the initial professional development is about $500. And again, that's a yearly, the yearly membership though is cheaper than that. Your sort of initial startup to join that organization is a little more expensive. Annually, it's more like $250, which again, I know is pricey, but I think that the professional development opportunities facilitated by ICMA, I've already used a lot of their material to, prepare agendas and draft things. It is a very it's already proven useful even without joining the organization. So I do think it would be beneficial to really to the township ultimately moving forward.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to authorize the township manager to pursue educational opportunities, accreditation that are International City and County Management Association, the primary professional association for municipal managers across the United States?
Also motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This one's easy.
Yeah, there's several pretty good.
Easy, pretty easy.
And if we want to have any further discussion about any of these times or days, we can do that. I just went with what I've been told so far.
Okay. Can I have a motion to advertise January reorganization meeting and subsequent stated meeting for Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 6 p.m.?
A motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now I need a motion to advertise the 2026 Board of Commissioner meeting scheduled on the second Wednesday of each month, 6 p.m., beginning February 11th, 2026, with the work session at 5:30 on the same days.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion to advertise the schedule of 2026 pension board meeting to take place February 10th, 2026.
That's a mistake. Should have been 11th.
February 11th?
Yeah, it should have been the 11th. I'll correct that.
Okay, February 11th, 2026, and August 11th, 2026 at 5 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A motion to advertise the schedule of the 2026 recreation board meetings to take place March 1st, April 25th, June 7th, July 4th, August 3rd, and December 6th, 2026 at 7:30. But do we want to do July 4th?
So
Well,
technically that.
It counts as a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And August 20, or April 25th is not at 7:30, that's at 9 AM. That's the park walkthrough that they do annually. So some of those dates are specific to a time, but
I motion to advertise.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Last one. Motion to advertise the schedule of the 2026 Planning Commission meeting to take place the first Tuesday of each month at 5:30, beginning February 3rd, 2026.
Also motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session?
Yeah.
We need to.
Do we need to?
I don't think so.
We motioned for your thing, right?
Yeah, but I think we should still have.
Okay.
Right.
I think for those that are still here,
Yeah.
I don't know how long we'll be back here,
Yeah,
but we're not coming back to make any decisions.
no, no decisions will be resulting from the executive session. So if, yeah, you don't need to stick around unless you really want to.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn at 7:05.
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.